Good afternoon.
Hey, Danny.
Yeah. Okay, guys, sorry for the delay. We've got a short window here. It's written press, although we've offered it out to online. So with the first two questions are going to go to Matt Galt from BBC Online, and then Matt's going to jump off the call and leave it to the written daily press. Is that okay with everyone?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Matt, over to you. First two questions, please, and then you can leave us to it.
I think you might be on mute, Danny.
Matt, can you take yourself off mute, please, mate?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise that.
No worries.
Hi, Ian. Just first of all, wondering if you had a squad update from on the back of the other night, and are you in a position to welcome Johnny Evans back into the mix?
Well, two guys that won't be involved are Jordan Jones and Matty Kennedy. Picked up one or two knocks, and we're not going to take any risks there. You know, go back to their clubs. And obviously Josh McGuinness will not be involved. So, but everybody else is in the mix for tomorrow, and we'll nail that down tomorrow morning.
Okay, great. I just wanted to ask you about Norway in comparison to Romania as well, and what sort of challenge you're expecting from them, and how they might differ tactically from Romania. Obviously, they have a vastly experienced manager and a striker in Haaland who's one of the best sort of up-and-coming strikers in world football.
He is, but he's not the only threat, and we've spoken about, you know, certainly the guys that they can go and choose from in the forward areas, but they're strong in the wider. The fullbacks like to get high, and similar to Romania, they probably go about it a different way to Romania. So again, we've spoken to the boys about that, but no, it's going to be a tough game. We know that. And they'll be hurting, having been beaten at home by Austria. So, you know, we've got to be ready for what they throw at us. They have plenty of energy. Say they're strong in all areas, really. So, you know, we have to be on our game.
Okay, good.
Brilliant. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks very much, guys. Bye.
Kenny,
All right.
kick it off.
Okay. Yeah, fellas, well done the other night. A good result in the circumstances. Ian, you mentioned energy. Obviously, playing most of the second half with 10 men must have made it draining, especially in the circumstances of, you know, players not having really any football under their belts apart from Davo to a small extent. Yeah,
ideally, you'd have liked to have finished the game with 11. But look, it just give us pointers as to you know, it can happen. You know, you can get refereeing decisions go against you, and you have to be able to deal with it. And I thought the boys went and dealt with it fantastically well. As for the energy, we've given them a good bit of rest. We're looking after them. We'll try and get them back up to speed. It's a tough ask, we know that, but it's the same for everybody. And Norway will have the same problems as well. A lot of their players are involved in leagues that haven't started yet. So, you know, similar situation. So we're not putting any excuses down, and we just got to make sure we get the right blend of new. You know, there are going to be changes made clearly, and you know, make sure we get the right ones.
You skillfully sidestepped Matt's question there about Johnny, but is Johnny back in the mix, and if so, is it automatic that he will come back into the side?
No, it's not automatic. No, I mean, Daniel Ballard set the mark there. He's got to try and get him out of the team now. He's back with the group, and you know, he's pleased to be back amongst us. You know, he wanted to be out in Romania, but it wasn't to be, and you know, he was pleased when he could get back amongst and training yesterday with the lads. So you know, he had a spring in his step there. So we'll formulate the team when it comes around in the morning, when we put the final touches on it, and hopefully Johnny's involved. Yeah.
Obviously, everyone's, you know, caught. Haaland has caught the attention of everyone over the past year or so. How do you go about dealing with a player of that who just seems to be such a great finisher and such a high strike rate?
He's in a rich vein of form. He scored his first goal for his country the other night as well, and you know, what he's doing at his club. He's hoping to transfer into the international stage as well. But as I say, he's not the only threat, and you know, we've not put out any special plans just for him. It's you know, he may not start, so you know, we've got to look at all the threats they've got, and that's what we've spoken about, just them in general, not any one individual.
Yeah. Anyone else want to jump in there?
I'll come in after Ken. It's obviously a big moment. Like, Stav, I know that you don't want like being centre of attention, but you know, we can't get away from this you know, cap you're going to get tomorrow, which will take you level with Pat Jennings. Really, what does that sort of mean to you, really?
Yeah, it's hard for me to sum up in words. Listen, there's been a lot of hard work, dedication, sacrifices that I've made to sort of get to this point. But every time I pull on the jersey, it's a really proud moment for me. I could never say it was ever an aim to try and get to this point, but I'm very fortunate that I've been able to have a long international career, and obviously to be able to match an icon like Pat's record, for me personally and my family, I'll probably be able to something whenever I look back on more. Whenever I finish playing, I'll obviously be delighted with.
Yeah, and then Ian, like, I know this is only your second game as manager coming up, but you know, what can you say about, you know, Steven in addition to that, really just, you know, what an achievement to get to take up Pat Jennings' record of 119 caps.
Not enough words, to be honest, to be able to describe it. It just shows a career of, like you say, dedication, day in, day out, preparing properly for a training session. What people don't see behind the scenes, sets it up for you to allow you to have a career like he's had, and you know, is a shining light to the younger lads. Always mentioned him in conversations with me under 21s when I was there, and you know, if they go and apply themselves right, then they give themselves a chance to have a career like Davo. He's not finished yet, so don't be finishing him off by any means, and you know, hopefully he can lead us to a Euros, and on to, you know, hopeful bigger things in World Cup, but that's later down the line. And you know, it's great to have him as our captain, as our leader, and say, not enough words.
Yeah. Like, Steve, what do you think you've got left in the tank? Like, I know your focus is just on this game and stuff, but you know, how do you approach it? You just take it sort of like season by season, or what way do you look at your international career?
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's sort of the approach that I've taken probably last year, this year. I think you just need to want to enjoy my football, concentrate on the here and now, really, and hopefully I'll still be good physically by the time the end of the season comes, and then we'll go again. But yeah, I think that's the approach you've got to take, and I've learned that from people like Aaron Hughes and Gareth McCauley, who obviously played to their late 30s. So great examples for me to follow as well.
Cheers.
Thanks, Dave.
Stephen, is there a tinge of disappointment in a sense that we're obviously playing these games in strange times, and you maybe won't get the chance to share the occasion with family and friends and so on?
Yeah, I think just in general, like, we all want to be playing in front of fans as well, but hopefully that won't be too far away whenever it's safe to do so. Listen, we know the atmosphere it's created, especially here at home, when the sport that the travelling fans give us as well. So it's disappointing that they're not here, but it's something we just have to get used to and deal with at the minute. But as far as sort of celebrating goes, yeah, it would be nice to be able to go out with family or whatever after the game. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. But I will get a couple of days down home to see the kids and that before going back up to Glasgow. So I'm looking forward to that.
And when you reflect on your 118 caps so far, are there what sort of highlights jump out at you when you sort of reflect over the past 15 years?
Listen, there's been quite a few, probably similar to a lot of Northern Ireland fans' highlights in terms of the big results we've had: England, Spain, the Greece game. For me personally, getting a couple of goals in that to see us through, and then the whole experience of the Euros, and obviously against Ukraine was a big G's iconic header. So yeah, lots of good memories, thankfully, but hopefully I can create some more as well. I think that's the key really for this squad. We've had a little bit of success, but it leaves you wanting more, and we've got a great opportunity in the next couple of months to go and create another little bit of history.
Davo, can you even remember what your hopes and dreams were that wonderful night against Canada?
Yeah, listen, it wasn't an ideal start, but for me personally, it was a memory that I will treasure, although the result and the reaction probably wasn't the best after the game. But yeah, listen, I was just delighted to get out onto the pitch. At that stage, I'd been in a couple of squads beforehand and not played. So yeah, delighted to get out on the pitch, and I never sort of foreseen my international career unfolding the way it has over the years.
Can you sum up just how different the international scene is now compared to then, and what makes it so different?
I think the game and life's changed in general, so yeah, there's a million things that's probably different, but one thing that's not is the sort of characters that we have in the team. Might be different people, but that's always been an important element of any squad, Northern Ireland squad that I've been in terms of creating a spirit and bond between the players, and we've always had that. So, but as far as the game goes, obviously it's got a hell of a lot more professional. We're trying to push things on in the right way and do things in the right way, whether that be nutrition, travel, everything, to give ourselves the best possible chance. And you only have to look at the stadium as well. So big changes all around.
Steve, Joel Taggart mentioned yesterday, I think maybe the UK record for most caps for international players, I think it's Peter Shilton, 125. Do you think about these things, or these targets that are maybe on the horizon now that you've sort of reached the landmark of Pat's?
Yeah, I'm aware of it. Like, people have told me before, but I wouldn't. Listen, it'd be nice to do, but I wouldn't say it's my ultimate goal is to go and try and break that record. As I said, I just want to try and, especially once you get to the latter stage of your career, try and enjoy your football, get as much out of it as possible. And ultimately, I want to try and get to another major tournament. That would be my dream.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ian,
That about covers it, to be honest. Mark asked my questions, so we're fine.
anybody else?
No, we're gone. Thanks.
Lovely.
Good.
Sorry, finally, just for Ian, Bar, obviously it's an incredible achievement that Davo's going to make tomorrow night, assuming you're going to play him now. Don't be messing this one up for us. Can you ever see, like, obviously we all hope Davo will break the record very soon, but can you ever see that record being broken?
Well, listen, there's players that'll have aspirations to do that, I'm sure. But I can see Davo stretching it further, and he might take it out of sight. That's that's the thing. It's a fantastic achievement. I can't again say enough words about this fella. That you know, the way he's gone and led the country, led the troops. You know, he's an example to everybody. And the way you go and prepare, you know, day in, day out for each session, and looking after yourself on the park, off the park. You know, when they're the times when people don't see you, when you don't realise, and you know, the sacrifices that you do have to make to you know, family. You know, they have to all buy into it as well. And you know, he's already mentioned those, but you know, it all goes into the melting pot, and it comes out, and it's something that he, you know, like you say, when it does finish, he can look back on it with fondness, I'm sure.
Lovely. Thanks, boys.
Brilliant, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, fellas.
Best of luck.
Appreciate it. Rude.
Extremely rude.
Right, I'm going off to have my lunch. I don't know about you.